The universe had decided he would die alone, and everyone else agreed. Everyone, that is, except the human engineer who tripped over him. The air smelled of ozone and pulverized rock. Marcus Vale picked his way through the wreckage of what had been Eagle's Nest, an observation post now reduced to smoking rubble. His heavy-duty combat engineering boots made a dull crunch on the fragments of metal and crystal. The battle had been a slaughter. The Xylos, with their damned sonic resonance weapons, had turned the Alliance defenses into soup. "Damn it, Central," he muttered, slapping the side of his helmet. "Anyone on the line? Vale is calling home." Nothing but static. The final sonic pulse had fried everything more sophisticated than a pocket calculator. His unit, the 7th Combat Engineers, was scattered across this mountain. As far as he knew, he was the last one. The only familiar sound was the low-level hum of his portable fusion reactor on his back, a pack that could either power a small city or blow a bunker. Some days, he wasn't sure which he preferred. His motion sensor, one of the few systems still sputtering to life, picked up a faint tremor ahead. Marcus raised his pulse rifle, the heavy weapon suddenly feeling light in his gloved hands. He rounded a fallen support beam and froze. It wasn't a Xylos. It was one of ours. Xylos, an ally. The warrior was slumped against a shattered console wall. His armor, a beautiful thing made of shifting crystalline plates, was cracked and dull. It was a male, tall and elegant, even in apparent death. His skin looked like polished marble, veined with pale blue light that was pulsing faintly dying. Xylos weren't flesh and blood like humans. They were silicon-based beings, powered by an internal psionic energy that made them incredible fighters and terrifyingly logical allies. Marcus approached, rifle lowered. "Hey, you with me?" The Xylos' eyes opened. They were like deep opals, swirling with an inner light. But something was wrong. The light was flickering, stuttering. "Decoupling," a voice sounded, not in his ears, but directly inside his mind. It was like a cold, clear echo. Marcus activated his medical scanner. The vital signs were all over the place. What the hell does resonance fractured mean? "Their weapon," the Xylos transmitted, his physical form shuddering with spasm that looked painful. "Broke the tuning. Myself is dissipating. I cannot hold." Marcus's scanner finally spat out a diagnosis he could barely understand. Catastrophic psionic desynchronization. In layman's terms, his body was here, but his mind was coming untethered, drifting away from physical reality. For Xylos, that was brain death. "What's your name, soldier?" Marcus asked, kneeling beside him. "Theron, Blade 7 of the Xylos Vanguard." The mental voice was getting weaker. "Right, Theron. I'm Corporal Marcus Vale, 7th Engineers. I'm getting you out of here." "Negative, Corporal Vale." The Xylos' logic was sharp, even as he was dying. Alliance Protocol, subsection 4 Alpha, dictates Xylos units suffering desynchronization are to be abandoned. Recovery is impossible. "Is that so?" Marcus grunted, already popping open his engineering kit. "Well, Human Protocol, subsection 1, says we don't leave anyone behind, especially not someone still talking." "Your logic is flawed. My structural integrity is compromised. I am dying." "You're not dead yet," Marcus retorted, pulling out spools of biofeedback wiring and an interface plate. He wasn't a medic, he was an engineer. And to him, everything was a wiring problem. "If your mind is leaking, we'll just ground it." "Ground it?" Theron's voice was filled with an emotion Marcus couldn't place. Probably alien confusion. "Yeah, I'm gonna jury-rig a tether," Marcus said, jamming an interface patch onto Theron's armor, right above his central power core. He plugged the other end into a diagnostic port on his own engineering suit. I'll use my own biosignature as a tuning fork, an anchor point for your mind. It might not work, and if it does, it's probably going to hurt like hell, for both of us. You are irrational, Theron whispered in his mind. Welcome to the human race, pal, Marcus said, slapping his palm onto the connector. Hold tight. The instant the circuit completed, Marcus screamed. It wasn't physical pain. It was like having his soul dipped in liquid nitrogen. Cold, vast, and terrified. He felt Theron's mind, vast and ancient, slipping away into a dark void. And he felt the Xylos' pain, a sharp dissonance, like 1,000 fingernails scraping the inside of his skull. Hold on, Marcus yelled, both to himself and the alien. I'm right here. Sync to me. Focus on my voice. You're not going anywhere. Slowly, like a ship being hauled back to dock in a storm, the feeling of dissipation lessened. The pain in his head receded to a throbbing migraine. He opened his eyes. Theron's opal eyes were focused on him. The flickering light now stabilized into a steady, if weak glow. Corporal Vale. Theron's mental voice was shaky, but present. What did you do? I call it a field expedient repair, Marcus panted, struggling to his feet. He hauled Theron's arm over his shoulders, lifting the Silicon warrior, who was surprisingly light for his size. Can you walk? I think so. But Marcus, the connection. I can feel you. Your noise. Noise. So much emotion. Anger. Fear. And stubbornness. It is deafening. Get used to it, Rox, Marcus grunted, starting to move toward what was left of the exit. My suit is broadcasting a low-level frequency, keeping you anchored to me. If we get separated by more than a few meters, you come apart. So stay close. Understood. Noisy, Theron replied. Marcus almost laughed. Right. Let's get out of this party before the hosts come back. Moving through the ruined corridors, Marcus felt every hesitant step Theron took, as if it were his own. The biofeedback tether was more than just a ground. It was a party line. He could feel Theron's cold logic assessing every shadow, every distant metal groan. And Theron could feel Marcus. Your heart rate is elevated, Theron transmitted, his mental voice clearer now. Yeah, well, we're in a war zone, and I'm carrying an ally who, by his own admission, should be dead. Cut me some slack. It is not anxiety, Theron observed. It is anticipation. You enjoy this. The danger. I don't enjoy it. Marcus shot back, pausing at a corner to check his sensor. I'm good at it. There's a difference. Now shut up and let me think. My people find human thought chaotic. Now, I understand. It is like listening to 1,000 songs at once, all of them loud. Focus, Theron. We've got Thrak patrols all over this area. My scanner's picking up fragments of their sonic comms. They're hunting survivors. They will not stop, Theron said, and for the first time, Marcus felt a spike of something. It wasn't human fear, but a cold certainty of doom. If they find me, connected to you, they will focus on your biological frequency. They will shatter us both. They're not going to find us, Marcus said, more confidently than he felt. There's an engineering bunker about 3 clicks east. It's reinforced, should have blocked the main sonic pulse. Maybe the long-range comms are still up. 3 kilometers, Theron pondered. Your carbon structure is resilient, but you are exhausted, and I am decreasing your efficiency. You're also my early warning system, so it evens out, Marcus said. Now let's... A high-pitched, vibrating whine cut the air, making Marcus's teeth ache. A Thrak hunting squad. 3 of them, looking like 8-foot-tall grasshoppers made of dark chitin, rounded the far end of the hall, their sonic weapons already humming as they charged. Behind me, Marcus yelled, shoving Theron back behind an upturned floor plate and opening fire with his pulse rifle. Logic suggests retreat, Theron transmitted. Logic can go to hell. Marcus fired, catching one crack in the chest, making it burst in a spray of green ichor. The second crack fired. It wasn't a projectile, it was a wave of force. The wave hit Marcus's cover, and while the metal stopped it, the sonic resonance traveled right through it. Marcus felt like his bones were being shaken apart from the inside. But Theron screamed, mentally. It was a shriek of pure agony that dropped Marcus to his knees, clutching his helmet. The tether transmitted the pain directly into his brain. The ground was working both ways. Marcus break the link. Theron commanded, his mind flailing. It is killing me. The resonance. No, Marcus growled, forcing his head up. The remaining crack was advancing, its weapon charging for the kill shot. Marcus looked at the demo pack on his belt. A terrible, chaotic, very human idea formed. Theron, he said, his voice strained. I'm sorry about this. About what? Marcus grabbed a brick of C12, slapped the timer to 0, and plugged the detonator wire directly into the biofeedback line between them. What are you? You're a psionic being. Your mind is energy, and I'm an engineer. Let's give him a surge. Marcus hit the trigger. It wasn't a physical explosion. It was a psionic one. The demo charge sent a wave of raw, unstable energy straight down the feedback line, through Theron's matrix, and out. The Xylos glowed like a blue sun, and a wave of pure mental force, now chaotic and furious, with human energy, blasted down the corridor. The crack stopped. Its sonic weapon sputtered. Then it just fell over, dead. Its neural systems, fried by the raw psionic backlash Marcus had weaponized. Silence. Marcus slumped against the wall, his body trembling. The connection was quiet. Theron, you there? Did I kill you? A moment of terrifying silence. Then the mental voice returned, faint, but impossibly clear. If that is human chaos, Corporal, I quite enjoy your music. Marcus laughed, a raw, relieved sound. That was improvised. Your improvisation nearly unmade me, Theron said, but Marcus could feel something new in his mind. Respect and curiosity. But it worked. The pulse, it cleared some of my dissonance. I feel more stable. Good. Can you walk on your own? 'Cause I don't think I can carry you anymore. I can, Theron said, pushing himself to his feet. His crystalline form seemed brighter, the blue veins pulsing more strongly. He looked at the fallen crack, then at Marcus. You are incredibly dangerous, Marcus Vale. Only to the bad guys, I hope, Marcus said, using his rifle to stand. That remains to be seen, Theron replied, and for the first time, Marcus felt the Xylos equivalent of a wry smile in his mind. The bunker. Let us go. They moved as one, the connection between them no longer an anchor, but a bond. The engineering bunker was intact, just as Marcus had predicted. The 10-foot-thick, reinforced steel doors had weathered the sonic pulse. Marcus cranked the manual release wheel, and they fell inside into the cool, safe darkness. Right, we're safe. For now, Marcus panted, sliding down the wall. The adrenaline was fading, leaving him exhausted. Marcus. Theron's voice was urgent, coming from the darkness. This connection, it is a temporary measure. My matrix is still damaged. The dissonance is returning. The pulse you created, it only paused it. Marcus sparked a flare, bathing the room in harsh red light. It was full of equipment, and in the center, something he didn't recognize. A chair, or a pod, made of the same crystal as the Xylos. What's that? Marcus asked, walking toward it. A resonance forge, Theron said, his mental voice full of reverence. A Xylos healing chamber. My people use them to realign our matrices, to heal us from spiritual wounds. Perfect, Marcus said. Get in. Do your thing. It will not work, Theron said, and Marcus felt the alien's despair like a bitter taste in his mouth. The forge requires an anchor point, a tuner, another, healthy Xylos to guide the wounded mind back. And as you can see, we are short on those. Marcus looked down at the biofeedback cables still connecting them. Where have I been for the last 3 hours? Theron went still. The light from his blue veins flickered. You mean? I'm your anchor, right? You're grounded in me. What if we go in? Together? Theron's mind reeled in shock. Impossible. The forge recalibrates psionic energy. It tunes 2 minds into one. But you are organic. Flesh. You are noise. The forge was not built for your biology. It will destroy you. It will burn out your neural mind in seconds. And what's the alternative? Marcus asked, stepping in front of the Xylos. You dissipate. I get stuck here alone, and eventually the Thrak find me. I'd rather take the option that, maybe, doesn't end with me dying alone in this hole. You would risk your mind. For me, a stranger. You're not a stranger, Theron, Marcus said, tapping the cable that linked them. I've spent the last 3 hours inside your head. I know you're afraid of the dark, and that you find the color green illogical. You're not a stranger. You're my problem now. A long silence. Marcus could feel Theron's mind spinning, Xylo's logic warring with human stubbornness. The bond. It will be permanent, Theron finally said. If we survive, we will no longer be 2. We will be 1. Our minds, our memories, intertwined. You will no longer be fully human, and I will no longer be fully Xylos. Marcus took a deep breath. The thought was terrifying, to lose himself, but the thought of letting Theron die was worse. I already feel half alien anyway, Marcus joked, his voice steadier than he felt. And you desperately need some chaos in your life. How do we turn this thing on? Theron placed a hand on the pod. It chimed and opened like a flower, revealing 2 seats. We sit, and we activate the sequence. Marcus, are you certain? No, Marcus said, climbing into the seat. But I never am. It's part of my charm. He sat, and Theron sat opposite him. The chamber sealed, plunging them into darkness. Goodbye, Marcus Vale, Theron whispered in his mind. See you on the other side, Rox, Marcus replied. And the resonance forge, activated. The pain was indescribable. It was like being unwritten. Marcus felt his own mind, his memories, his childhood on a dusty farm, his training, his anger, his humor being pulled out of him, stretched, analyzed, and then merged with something vast, cold, and ancient. He felt Theron's memories, 1,000 years of meditation on crystal mountains, the sensation of fighting with pure will, the cold logic of the universe as the Xylos saw it. And then he felt Theron feeling him. He felt the Xylos' shock at experiencing human emotion for the first time, not as external noise, but from the inside. Love, rage, stubborn loyalty, the irrational fear of death, grief. The noise became a symphony. The cold logic met the hot chaos. Silicon met carbon. When the light faded, Marcus opened his eyes. He was looking at Theron, and Theron was looking at him, but they didn't need to look. I see. Theron's voice sounded in his head, but it wasn't a voice anymore. It was his own thought. Marcus, you saved us. We saved us. Marcus thought back, and the sensation was as natural as breathing. He stood, and Theron stood with him, in perfect synchronization. The dissonance was gone. The damage was healed. But the bond was 1,000 times stronger. Marcus could feel Theron's senses. He could feel the vibrations in the air, the energy currents running through the bunker. And Theron could feel Marcus's instincts, his heartbeat, his adrenaline. Well, Marcus said aloud, and the sound of his own single voice seemed strange. This is new. It is sufficient, Theron thought, and Marcus could feel the Xylos' admiration. I know what you're going to do, before you do it. And I know how boring you find my taste in music. Marcus shot back, a grin splitting his face. A sudden, deafening boom rattled the bunker door, a high-pitched, vibrating whine. Threck! They thought as one. They found us. They're tuning the door, Marcus said, grabbing his rifle, trying to find a frequency to shatter it. They're using a heavy-class sonic cannon, Theron added, his newly amplified psionic senses mapping the outside. 3 squads, at least a dozen, and a brood commander. Odds are terrible. I like it, Marcus said. Your logic is contagious, Theron thought, and Marcus felt as the Xylos summoned his psionic blades, 2 claws of pure blue energy that hissed into existence in his hands. I understand anticipation now. Let us. Marcus ran to the engineering console, the long-range radio. It's working. He began typing, sending a distress signal. Alliance High Command, this is Corporal Vale and Blade 7 Theron. We're under assault at Bunker E7. We are a new kind of asset. The bunker door groaned, the metal visibly bowing inward. They are almost through, Theron warned, taking a defensive stance. Theron, the forge, Marcus said suddenly, looking at the glowing pod. What of it? It tunes minds. It uses resonance. The Xthrak, they use resonance. What if? Theron's mind snapped to Marcus's, and the plan formed between them in a nanosecond. Chaotic, logical, perfect. It is dangerous, Theron warned. It could fry us both. It could fry them, Marcus replied, already running to his fusion power pack. I need power, more than my suit, and I need a focus. I will be the focus, Theron said, placing his hands on the forge. You will be the trigger. The bunker door exploded inward. The Xthrak brood commander strode in, a towering 9-foot creature, its chitinous armor vibrating with power. The human, the broken Xylos. You die. You know, Marcus said, plugging the final power cable from his portable fusion reactor directly into the resonance forge. I hear that a lot. Now, Theron. Marcus slammed his fist on the panel, diverting all power from his reactor. Theron screamed as the raw, chaotic energy of human fusion flooded the silicon matrix. But this time, he didn't fight it. He molded it. Through their bond, Marcus felt Theron take that chaotic energy and focus it through the forge, not inward, to heal, but outward, to attack. The resonance forge let out a single, pure note. It wasn't a sound. It was silence, a wave of pure, weaponized anti-resonance. The Xthrak's sonic weapons failed instantly. Their armor, held together by resonance fields, began to crack. The brood commander looked down at its own hands as they dissolved, confused. And then they all just fell apart, reduced to dust and fractured chitin. The silence in the bunker was absolute. Marcus fell to his knees, his fusion pack spent and smoking. Theron was leaning against the now dark forge, his light pulsing steadily. You okay? Marcus thought, exhausted. I am whole, Theron replied. And then something new. A hole. The radio console crackled to life. This is Alliance Command. We read you, Bunker E7. What the hell just happened? We're reading an energy signature we've never seen before. Marcus looked at Theron. He felt the Xylos' cool logic, and Theron felt his human smirk. Marcus keyed the mic command, he said, his voice rough. Just tell High Command. We've invented a new kind of music. A loud one, Theron added in his mind. The best kind, Marcus replied.